Chapter 12. The two female Othra landed and stood beside the larger male bird. Niril spoke again, the words reverberating in the space between the travelers as well as inside of them. "You know the answer to her question, young Jabari," he said. "You must sing her the song." As Niril spoke, calm descended on Isika, and she heard a strain of haunting music. She looked up, but nothing was there. The sky was empty and blue. "I can't sing it," Jabari said, shifting his feet and looking uncomfortable. "You can," Gavi said, reaching out to punch Jabari lightly. They all stood in a messy semicircle around the Othra. "Sing, choir boy." Jabari glared at him. He rubbed at the short, tight curls on the back of his head. Ifir clattered and growled, spreading her wings to their full span, and Jabari sighed. "Fine," he said, "but you had all better find a seat, because it's long." They settled themselves on the ground, leaning against tree trunks beside the path. Iba sat against Isika's knees, and Isika reached out and stroked her sister's hair. Iba squeezed her hand in return. Jabari stood before them, straight and tall. The sun scattered the shadows of leaves over his skin. He was handsome. The afternoon was hot and humid, and Isika thought sleepily that the Mawil could make him their king if they were missing someone to rule them. Niril began a long, haunting call exactly like the music Isika had heard moments before. The other birds joined in. The hairs stood up on the backs of Isika's arms, but she still wasn't prepared for what happened when Jabari began to sing. He stood with his eyes closed and sang to them. His voice was beautiful, lovelier than any voice Isika had ever heard. But the song was a lament. It brought tears to Isika's eyes. Black as beloved night, eyes like stars. Her smile the sudden glimpse of a crescent moon. A line to the uncreated one, a thread into heaven's heart. Tied to the whirling sky, the planets, the stars, the mountain peaks. Protected by her love, the Shaper's hand among us. Light all around us. We were brought in and encircled, loved and surrounded. From her belly sprung a child of light and promise, a child strong from the first, their love the sun rising. The sight of them, love itself. But hearts break, and the great waste moved against us. Thieves, they wanted her. They took our queen. She was gone, and her baby with her. We wailed to the heavens, but the grasp of Mugunta was strong. The great waste didn't give her up to us. Still we search, still we search, still we search. As Jabari was singing, Isika closed her eyes. Images began to flash through her mind until she was immersed in unfamiliar scenes. She saw the queen, crowned, tall and austere, in robes of deepest red, a baby in her arms. She heard the queen singing a song to her baby. Then a crack in the earth, a dead tree, black against the sky. Men on horseback, swirling dust, the crown falling to the ground, a great shriek. She saw a dark-skinned king with a thin silver circlet on his head, falling with an arrow to the chest. The dead tree again. When she came back to her surroundings, she found that she was crying. She quickly wiped her face with the back of one hand, feeling as though her heart was broken. She couldn't understand the strange emotions coursing through her. Why did she feel so desperate over a song? Jabari and Gavi were frowning at her. Isika frowned back at them, then looked at Ben, who raised his eyebrows and shook his head. "What?" she said. "How do you know it?" Jabari asked. "How do I know what?" "You were singing the song," he said. "You sang it with me. Where have you learned it?" Isika didn't know what to say. She hadn't known she was singing, so lost in the swirl of images around her, and she didn't know the song. She had never heard it before now in Jabari's soaring voice. She shook her head. I don't know, she said. I don't know any of this. She stood, feeling shaky, needing to escape watching eyes. She wanted to get away from the deep sorrow she still felt after hearing the song. I need to run, she said. We're going straight on this path, right? Let me go ahead. I'll run for a while and then stop to let you catch up. Jabari shook his head, glancing at Gavi. I don't think that's a good idea, he started to say, but he stopped at a sudden clicking from Nero. Let her go, Nero said. We will follow the young one to watch her. The feeling he sent with his words was impossibly kind, and Isika blinked back tears and started to run. As she ran, rather than growing tired, she gained more strength. The path seemed to help her spring forward, and the trees rushed by, the thick forest trilling with birdsong on either side. She felt angry and sad, even a little hurt from the look on Jabari's face when he had demanded to know how she knew the song. Isika didn't know how she knew. How was she supposed to know anything? This wasn't her land. She was a stranger here. He was supposed to be the one with all the understanding. The Othra had called him to guide the three of them. She had not asked for any of this. She grew angrier, shrugging off the memory of Jabari answering her questions so patiently. Instead, she focused on the look on his face, laughing at her because she didn't know the ways of this land. He was nothing like the beautiful queen she had seen as he sang. Fresh despair nearly overcame her as she again saw the queen taken, and she ran faster, as though she could outrun it. It was a different day, she told herself. It was a long time ago. The sun was bright, the sky was blue, and she wasn't tired. Slowly her mind began to calm as her feet took her along even faster. The landscape changed abruptly, and Isika slowed her pace. She had come to the end of the vast forest. The path broke out at the top of a long slope, leading into what looked like farmland. The view was breathtaking, green and golden fields stretching out on either side of the road into blue hills on one side and the line of the sky on the other. In the distance, a small farm nestled between two fields surrounded by cows. Something pulled at Isika, the way the tree had tugged her, back at the beach. She shivered and surged forward, her legs flying, the wind rushing past her. The air in the sky fed her energy, the road beneath her feet sent her flying. She ran faster than she had ever run before. Dimly, she could sense the Othra flying high overhead, calling to her. Still she ran. She ran until she reached the farm and recognized where the sharp tug was coming from. Around the house stood a thick wall, much taller than the one Jabari and Gavi had torn down. For a moment, Isika stood still, contemplating the wall with wide eyes, recognizing that she was possibly out of her depth. But the tug inside her was sharp and impossible to ignore. As she looked at the wall, a deep rage filled her, a swirling, seething feeling that came from somewhere deep within. It rushed over her until her eyes and toes tingled with fierce anger. She attacked the wall, grabbing it with her hands, pulling at it until it crumbled and disintegrated beneath her fingers. Again and again, Isika pulled stones away, ripping the wall to pieces. It changed to dust before her eyes, and before long, the house was exposed to the road. She kept on, she didn't know for how long, until it was nearly gone. As she reached the far side and pulled the final part of the wall to pieces, she heard shouts. Dimly, she recognized Jabari beside her as she pulled the last piece of the wall down. He was screaming, with Gavi, Iba, and Ben behind him. Iba was crying. At first, Isika saw them dreamily as though through water. Gavi grabbed large handfuls of his hair and looked around wildly. Isika slowly came out of her trance of destruction and began to understand what Jabari was saying. The wall was too big! They'll die! What are you doing, you stupid girl? What kind of demon magic possessed you? He rushed toward the house and pushed the door open without waiting for an answer from within. Isika followed, leaping over toy-strewn steps. Inside was madness. A man lay twitching and groaning on the bed, while his wife screamed and hit her head against the wall. 2 small children sat staring into nothing. Isika was horrified. This was the poison sickness Jabari had spoken of? It was horrifying. She watched as Jabari went to the man and laid a hand on his head. Gavi followed and did the same with the woman, but nothing changed for either of them, and they continued to groan and scream. Jabari turned to Isika, his face twisted with rage and sadness, tears running down his cheeks. "Do you see now, Isika? This is what poison madness is. When the wall is that far advanced, you can't take it away without a skilled healer. The people feel unprotected. They go mad inside." Isika barely heard him. She felt another pull, a fizzing inside her chest. This time, instead of rage, it was exquisite warmth, like being filled by hot tea or climbing into a bath on a cold day. It felt like her mother singing to her. "Let me try," she said.